Hey guys, it's Oakley, and CA had a live stream today for the Greenskins campaign, but alongside that was some very big news. This is huge. So the premise essentially was this is about modding, and previously CA had come out and said, hey, because we're dealing with Total War Warhammer and this is a partnership with Games Workshop, there's going to be a lot of legal work that prevents us from doing mods. So early on they had said we wouldn't be able to support the mods officially, unlike all other Total War games. But what they're saying is, as of late, they've worked with Games Workshop and they've been able to figure out the paperwork over the last months so that they can now support mods, which is huge. That is so great. So they kind of go through all the details of this. There's going to be a new Total War launcher mod, and this is all available from day one. So day one, mod support will be up and coming. This is a huge thing because they'll go into the details of what this means. But this is going to open up the title. Already Warhammer was going to be fresh, but people had gripes with little issues here and there. Regional occupation, the different lords, starting positions, things like that. And they're opening it up pretty much completely. There are still some terms of use, but let's go into it. So they talk about the assembly kit and what's going to be available at first. They say they're a little short on time to get all the features out, but right from the start you're going to have the database editor, and the BOB for modifying and exporting database tables and campaign start positions and packing them all into mod packs. So essentially what that means, by modifying and exporting database tables, you can modify stats, tweak unit sizes, tweak character traits and all that stuff. So that in and of itself is pretty powerful just for modifying databases. You can also change campaign start positions, and this is something we'll go into here in a little bit, but one of the things they mentioned as well is they hope to have by the end of the year support for creating custom maps. That is also huge because that's something that CA really needs to embrace. I think it has a lot of potential benefits when it comes to multiplayer, to have people design custom built maps and implement that into the officially supported matchmaking roster. There's a lot of cool stuff they can do. And here I went up and I dug up a lot of the concept art that CA had posted for the Warhammer campaign map, and I'm hoping that with all the new artistic details that they've just shown off in Total Warhammer, it will be a lot more aesthetic tools that the modders can bring in to really bring these landscapes to life and make them so cool and really enrich, hopefully, the campaign experience. But most importantly, I'm hoping that it will give us the ability to fix the big problem that I have with sieges, which is the linearity of it. I really hope that we will be able to go in and fix sieges by breaking up the linear approach, modifying, perhaps a mod that modifies the range on towers, the damage on towers, going in and making the cities much more playable, deeper, and just better experiences. So by opening up this mod capability, it's going to be allowing the community to address a lot of these problems. Another thing that they've announced too is that they're going to be supplying advanced access to the game to some modders who have attended the mod summits over the last 3 years. So if you've been in attendance there, then you can kind of reach out to CA and they'll give you advanced copies. And that's going to be to have modders get a lot of stuff primed for release. So a lot of stuff coming in here at release. They, for example, call out Radius, who you guys know has been doing a lot of these famous mod series, which unleashes a bunch of new mods, so he's going to be in there. And then also specifically they called out two modders, Magnar, who's going to be designing a Legendary Lord start position mod. So what this means is it customizes the starting position of Legendary Lords that are different within a race. So previously what CA had announced, and that's what I'm showing in the background here, is that the Empire starts in this province all the time, no matter which Legendary Lord you choose. Same thing goes for all the different factions. So that's severely limited gameplay replayability. What they're stating here is you have the ability to mod that, and that there will be a mod at launch for you to do different starting positions. And one of the important questions people asked is, so does this mean that you can play co-op as the same race now with different starting positions? And CA responded, it does mean that you can play co-op with the same race with Legendary Lords. And I don't have to tell you how fucking amazing, I'm sorry to curse, but that is freaking amazing. That is huge. That is opening up the floodgates in terms of the co-op options for this game, the replayability for this game, all sorts of really cool stuff. On top of that, there is also another modder, Dresden, who's going to be releasing a mod, and this is supported by CA, for modifying regional occupation. And regional occupation is the map I'm showing in the background, which basically stated that certain factions, like the dwarves, could only capture certain settlements that were, for the dwarves, in the mountains. And the Empire, for instance, could not capture dwarven holds. So there were restrictions on where you could expand. There is going to be modding support for doing away with that. So you do away with that. You do away with the restricted legendary lords, and that addresses basically every complaint that people had about the changes to the campaign. So I am super, super excited. When I first read this news, I was beyond overjoyed with what CA had announced. This is very promising. This is only, scratching the surface. This is fixing potential issues, kind of removing barriers. But what kind of really cool stuff can modders do when they start adding things into the game that aren't there? Not just removing barriers, but adding new content, doing some really cool stuff in the future. So this has me super excited. This is gonna restore a lot of faith in the community. The support CA is putting behind this restores a lot of the good faith, and I'm really excited. So you take these two together, the Legendary Lord starting position and the Regional Occupation mod, and what I'm showing in the background is all the factions that are present at the start of the game. So what this does is it means for co-op campaigns, you could presumably mod in the ability to play as any one of these factions. Perhaps you want to have an alliance of, not just the Empire as a whole, but maybe you want to play as Middenland and Kislev together as a co-op faction. Or perhaps you want to be not just Bretonnia, but Artois. Or be one of the Vampire Count's sub-factions, or be two of the Dwarves, or mix match. There's so much stuff you can do. This is very, very cool. Well, actually, mind you that I am getting ahead of myself. See, it hasn't announced that you can make the modding available for the non-major factions, but we'll wait and see. Anyways, this image in the background is what I wanted to address. This is kind of where this is the main gripe that people had with Total Warhammer, was the Chaos DLC shenanigans, and this garnered a lot of ill will with CA. The picture in the background is like one of the first things you get when you search the Chaos Warriors DLC. Angry Joe did a rant about it that got almost a million views. If you go look at the release video for this, it has huge dislike to like ratios, and this was one of the main sticking points against CA. Now, CA has done, I think, the most astounding about face when it comes to addressing this. So let's go and, we really have to give credit to CA for everything they've done. The mod community managers have been very open about people. In terms of the Chaos Warriors DLC problem, they've extended the DLC to be free to anyone who purchases the game within the first week. That, to me, shows a lot of confidence in the product. They released this image in the background here that shows the forthcoming DLC plan, being very clear, open, and transparent with everything. I think CA is doing a very good job. The community managers, Joey, Darren, Grace, Charlotte, did I say Darren already? Well, Craig, the community manager leader, all the different people, kudos to them. This has been an astounding turnaround. I think with now the added mod support that they're opening up, the fact that they're engaging with the community, this has been a very, very, very big turnaround, and I think it is going to pay dividends in terms of the support for this game, the longevity of the game, and it's really honestly shaping out to be a very, very strong Total War title. And I know a lot of the time heading into Total War games, we have blinders on, we're blinded by the hype, but the transparency CA has shown, it's the willingness of the not just the community managers, but the higher ups who I've met when I've been talking to them in the one-on-one events. They've been very willing to engage with the community. They've been very open, and they have demonstrably gone and addressed the issues ahead of us. And I think what CA is going to realize is this open debate is going to get them so many more sales in this game, and I hope this sends a trend. I hope it signals, or it's, I hope that the respect it garners in the community, I think it'll improve the quality of the game, and ultimately, if it improves the financials of the game, I think they can have immediate buy-off from Sega in the future to have this kind of openness and support in the future. So this not only bodes well for the Warhammer title, but much, much more than that, a lot of the future titles. So anyways, that's my main takeaway of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. This is truly very exciting news. So yeah, stay tuned for more. We're very close to launch. So yeah, this is going to be super awesome. I'm very excited for this. I've rambled long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed, And let's give a round of applause to CA. You guys really deserve it. And yeah, thank you so much for everything, guys. Glad you love what you're doing, and we're looking forward to enjoying the product, the fruits of your labor. So thanks so much for watching. See y'all next one.